Hello everybody and welcome back. About time I put something together. It's taken me a little while. So some of the data's a couple of weeks old, but I'm just obviously putting it all together now. As you can see, since my last one, I've got my winter coat on now, so feeling the cold a little bit, so thought I'd put this on. And definitely seeing a difference with the winter months. Having to turn the gas back on. I'll cover that in a minute. Let me just put this on. So just some good news first. I finally got my payment from British Gas. So this is ultimately what I've been paid. So for 6 months it's £33. Massive amount there. Going out, won't have a party because I'll have nothing left. And obviously that's for 1,000, just over 1,000 kilowatt hours. So not brilliant. At 3.2. Now there is some good news on the, well, if you can ever have good news. What they have actually done, I've received this in the last couple of days. I was about to switch, but it appears that British Gas have actually increased their payments. So as you can read, for the end of November, they're actually doubling it, so increasing it to 6.4. So there's some good news. So I haven't checked the Octopus ones. I think they're still at 4, but ultimately I think I'm going to stay where I am. So, you know, that might work out better for me next year. Although, as I've always said, I don't intend to give any back to the grid, but if I do, I should be getting a bit more for it. Just while that's showing, you can see in the background, these are the reports, by the way, you get out of Givenergy. Can't remember if I've shown those before, and they can be run monthly and things like that. So they're really useful in seeing where everything's going. Okay, so moving on to the next thing, I just thought I'd cover gas, just because obviously because I completely cut pretty much all of the gas out. My gas bill was £10 a month. Obviously November's been a little bit colder, so I've actually started to increase the amount of gas, and you can see that's my usage, and it's up to £58. So it's increasing, and as I go into December I can see that's increased more. Obviously with -10, you know, I'm not freezing for anybody, so it is increasing. So, you know, there's that. Loop I use as well, so I don't know if some of you have used it. I've mentioned it before, I'm sure you've seen it. This is quite handy, so it hooks into your smart meter, and actually it's pretty accurate in terms of the spend. Now you can't put in the Octopus rates, but it gives you, so for me, for the gas, I'm not paying any, you know, I'm paying the normal British Gas rate, but it's quite close, and the usage obviously is spot on. I don't know why there's a slight discrepancy, probably in the information I put in there in the first place. But the other good thing is it will show me what I would have, roughly what I would have spent if I'd have just been on the electricity tariff. So it's handy just to give a reality check of if I was paying the standard rate for everything, then that would be what I would be paying. However, bear in mind I would not have had a car at that point, so it's slightly artificial, but gives a bit of a reality check. I don't know if some of you have been using, actually just going back to that, so my spend for November was about £90 in overall. I'll cover that a little bit more in a minute. I don't know if some of you are on Octopus, but obviously, like a couple of the companies or a few of the companies, they're offering, you know, sort of like a payback for using less energy, and you can see here it's actually quite tricky because as long as you've got a full battery, you're not using the grid anyway. So in effect, you know, I'm not getting any payback, although what I have earned at the moment is about £3. So it's all better than nothing. I am, just to play the game, kind of cutting back and making sure that no one's putting a, you know, an oven and a microwave on at the same time, so that I can still use most of the things in a house, but obviously it then becomes zero. Okay, so if we look at my view of the world, the one I use, obviously including the £60 that I've probably spent on gas, I'm looking at about £90 for the electric, so £150 in total for everything. which is still pretty good, I think. And that is considering the amount of solar. So the solar's completely dropped off to a point where I'm charging my battery at night. So literally it's pretty much empty by midnight, and then charging all the way back up to fully charged in the morning, allowing for either the car or some heating in the immersion and some heaters at 5 o'clock in the morning, just to give it a bit of a boost. In terms of total spend from the beginning of April, end of March, beginning of April, we're looking at £380 ish, which again is still pretty good. Obviously winter is increasing all of the costs in the car, so I'm still in a good place. You know, way back in sort of April sort of time, around, you know, even the beginning of the year, it was still £80, and considering all the costs have gone up for electricity, obviously that's where I was on solar and a battery and all the rest of it. I'm still not doing too badly really, considering the amount of electrical use I've got is increased massively. So going into November, it's still looking, you know, still marginally better. I've noticed that the numbers on the chart don't look quite right. So if you just look at this pop-up, with the charger, it's still looking at 8 years, and then without the charger, 7.3. So it is dropping. Obviously, I can't grumble. There's not a lot of solar around at the moment. All the other things you can look at if you want to, and then looking into obviously the Octopus values. That this is obviously where I pull their data. In reality, you know, their value is £90. That's the government, so I've offset that with the government value, and then my solar, call it a rebate, you know, my payback for the export guarantee of 30 quid. So I've covered November again, luckily, so again still not paying anything. December will be a little bit different, but yeah, so really there's a bit of an update for November. Still looking pretty good, and we'll see how December goes, because I have a feeling that it's going to be a bit of a shock to the system, having to put the electric on and the gas a lot more, so especially the gas. Okay, thanks very much. If you've got any more questions, just drop me a line. Oh, actually, sorry. Temperature. I am monitoring the temperature of the inverter and the battery, so I'm taking the values straight from the Givenergy inverter, and obviously you can see the inverter is sitting at around 20 degrees, which isn't bad considering it's on my outside wall. And then the battery is a little bit lower. I can't see any degradation. I don't see it going down any faster, but don't know. Just looking at the last month, this is what I think what my spend has been over the day rate and the economy 7 rate. Well, economy 7, it's 5 hours from midnight. A couple of really bad days in terms of, this is where I've used a lot more of the grid because my battery's run out, but on the whole you can see that the 8 kilowatt battery is lasting pretty much most of the days. That's about it. If you've got any more questions, then just drop a note. If I can help with anything, let me know. Hope it's been useful, especially, you know, perhaps the British Gas export guarantee, if you're making that decision. If you are switching to Octopus, then please use my referral code. If not, thanks very much, and I'll speak to you next month. We'll see what happens. Cheers, bye.